folks, it is TIJ again. Welcome back to the Football Manager 2021 series with Everton conquering the Euro. Today, it is time for both of the fives. Episode 5 of Season 5. And in today's episode, we play against Manchester City at the GOODISON. And then we go away to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Catchy name, isn't it? For an away match against Spurs. And we are in a good position at this point. We are in a very, very good position. We are pretty clear of getting a continental space. I know that Newcastle Wolves have got a game in hand on us, but we've got a 3-point buffer at the very least on those two clubs, which is great to see. And I've come back at this point because if we can beat Manchester City in today's match, I can't see it, but if we can beat Manchester City in today's match, then we will only go 4 points away from being in the top 4, which would be an amazing achievement. I can't see it, but we've come back today to see if that will happen. So the last time you guys saw me was for I believe it was the Tottenham and Villa games, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. The last game of the year, which is a bit disappointing. We played against Sheffield United, another side like Leeds, who just set up for a 0-0 draw, I think, and got it. But we'll take the point. We then went to West Ham and lost 3-1, unfortunately, in the Cup. I don't really know what happened. It was a bit of an uncharacteristic performance. The press said that we were the underdogs, which I thought was a bit confusing, given that West Ham are, 17th even in the Premier League. If this was a league game, you'd be saying that we're favourites by a long way. But West Ham gave it more. Yes, we rotated a little bit, but that's no excuse. And they went and beat us 3-1. But the next match, because I panicked a little bit after that, I thought a draw against Sheffield United, a loss against West Ham. Surely it's not going to happen, is it? But no, it's not. We went and beat West Brom by 4-0. West Brom are actually doing pretty decently in their return to the Premier League under Slaven Bilic. They're only 4 points away from 7th, so I'd certainly take that in a promotion season. But we went and beat them convincingly 4-0. And then we played Chelsea, and it's been very topsy-turvy lately. If you look, the last time we recorded 2 wins on the trot was back in November when we played Norwich and Bournemouth. Since then, it's been very topsy-turvy. But to be fair, if you look at the schedule, every 2 games, apart from this 3-game run, we've had Man City, Tottenham and Chelsea here, then Man City and Tottenham again. And just, again, a very uncharacteristic performance. I guess you have days like this, and this is exactly what I told the lads. Chelsea just outperformed us. They scored within the first minute, then they scored the 10th minute in, and at 3-0 down, and actually 4-0 down 36 minutes in, what can you do? It was just a day where it didn't go for us, but luckily we got 3 points on the board. It was a narrow win last time out against Watford, and we come back now to play against Manchester City. We actually get on very well with their manager Pep Guardiola. I'm not his biggest fan in real life, but we are good chums on this game. He's actually let me have a few of his players in the past because we're such good chums. But yeah, it all goes out the window, doesn't it, when you're on the sidelines for a match. And then we've got Tottenham as the second game in the episode. We've made a few transfers in the transfer window. It is the 19th of January. I did say we were in desperate need of a defender, and this is exactly what we've bought in. We've bought in Emir Hossein Rastami from Borussia Dortmund. I think this is a brilliant signing. 1.1 million, a very low signing. A player that's had plenty of experience in Dortmund's B team, which isn't the biggest league in the world ultimately. But if you look at some of his stats here, he's got 16 anticipation, 15 decisions, 16 pace, 13 stamina, and the man's only 19 years of age, so he can improve a lot. The fact he was born in 2007 is a bit scary, but he's got a potential ability of 3, if not 4 stars. Looks like a good player. And we've kept our focus on youngsters, but I also signed in Russell Lee from Wolverhampton Wanderers, our former club. He's one of our former players. He came through the youth setup when I was there for the first year. Never played a senior game for Wolves, but once again, another player who looks very solid. An attacking midfielder, 18 first touch, 16 passing, 16 technique, 17 vision. His work rate's also good. Some of these stats, maybe his anticipation, etc., aren't great, but in terms of fulfilling that role as an advanced playmaker or a shadow striker, he looks a very good player. And for £750,000, 775 exactly, you can't really moan at that. And the reason I've bought a lot of youngsters is because I've got a 3-year plan, effectively, here. And certainly the first season's going to plan. The first season was try and go toe-to-toe with some of the big boys. Try and just do as well as we can, I guess. And that's happened so far. We've been 5th for a long time now. And then next year, really, it's to try and sneak into that top 4. And also try and be a bit more consistent. Because I don't think we've got any points against the big boys so far. We've had a terrible record against the traditional top 6. But I guess it's more the top 4 now. And bringing these youngsters in just means that we've got a chance by season 3 for some of these youngsters to come through and really tear up the Premier League. We've also brought in another youngster from Dortmund, a double signing from Borussia Dortmund, but this is a end of contract signing, so no fees involved here. And that is Mick Altiel, an 18-year-old on the left-hand side. Our scouts suggest he's a very good player, 76 out of 100. Apparently got the potential to be a championship player, but looking at this, he could be a star player, so you never know. And it's a very low-risk signing. His acceleration is very high, his agility is good. All of these stats look pretty decent. And again, he's only just 18, so he can improve quite a bit. We've also got a departure at the end of the season. Abdoulaye Doucouré's contract is running out at the end of the year, and he's going to play in China. He's a player that's done a job for us. He's a very good player, but his stats are starting to diminish a bit, and he's on a lot of money, to be fair. He's on 80-odd thousand a week, and I think we could probably bring a younger player into midfield, potentially. We've also nearly made a sale, not quite, but we're looking to offload Youssef Attal. 30 years of age, again, another good player. I've got nothing against him, but ultimately he's a player that has been injured. He's 2.5 stars. He's not our first choice anymore, basically. And, he's a player we might look to get rid of. And we've had an offer from Udinese. Unfortunately, it didn't come through. But we might actually look to keep him now because we are struggling in the defence. And again, he's another backup figure in the defence. So let's go then for this game against Manchester City. So in goal, we've got Pickford. And Rostami starts today. He started every single game for us purely because he's our best option at right back. Mason Holgate can play there, but just no. You've seen Holgate play right back. Livramento, I guess, is our best option, but he's struggling for fitness a bit. I don't know where Youssef Attal is, actually. Whether he's... that makes sense. He's on international duty. That's something I didn't mention, actually. It's a very important note to make. The reason we're having to play Dan Lawrence at left-back is because Zaidu Sanusi, Alex Iwobi and Youssef Attal are all out at the African Cup of Nations. So that just makes our defensive frailties even worse. So I forgot about that. I'm glad I had a look at that. But that's the reason Henry Lawrence plays at left-back today, because Livramento's tired. And he's the only other option. We could potentially play Lewis Williams at left back, but I don't want to do that. So the defence is a bit frail today. Not really what you want going into a game against Manchester City. Matteo Bivani and Dennis Zakaria start in the midfield with Marcus Edwards, Lorenzo and Deji Satona starting in the attacking midfield. And then Reece Nelson starts up front. And Alex Iwobi going to the Icon. Is that right? Icon, yeah. Going to the Icon, not the rapper, singer, whatever he was in the early 2000s. But by going to Icon, yes, that's right. I don't want to sound stupid. That it definitely is African Cup of Nations, Icon, yeah. But by him going there, it's given Deji Satona a good chance to get into the side. As I've said, I don't really fancy us against Man City today, but we have to give ourselves some sort of chance to scrape something. One thing we don't do very well is, there you go, you and Pep Guardiola have a pretty healthy relationship. We'll put our friendship aside for the match and then have a catch-up after. That's fair enough. See, we get on like a house on fire with good old Pep. But I can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, what I was saying was that we don't draw a lot this season. We really don't. We've only had 2 draws. Both 0-0 draws where the opponents just come to set up a 0-0. I'll tell you something. We're actually looking pretty good here in terms of, dare I say, being the not the more clinical team, but the team that's certainly having the more attacks. So I can guarantee Man City are going to piddle on our bonfire here by taking an early lead. Anthony into the box. Comes off the crossbar. Pickford had got it covered anyway. Leicester have took an early lead against Tottenham. They've actually gone 2-0 up now. Santo Nuno, that is, has been sacked. They're very low down the league. Remember, of course, that Leicester finished 5th in the Premier League last year. So they're having a disastrous season compared to what you would expect. But a lovely ball from Lorenzo to Reece Nelson and we're 1-0 up. Come on. We're 1-0 up against Man City. Let's just play the normal tactic. Let's just play as we normally would. But a lovely assist from Lorenzo Chevalier. One thing I haven't said as well for a bit of the Conquering the Euro context and fans of the series from the start is that Ryan Aït-Nouri, that left-back that's on loan at Wolves in real life, the player that... My granddad is a Wolves fan again for context, and he calls him Art Nearly. I don't rate that Art Nearly. I just sat in the chair yesterday. Yes, he's in my support bubble, so, you know, yeah. But, yeah, I was having a good chuckle at that. But he's at Man City in game, and it's 2-0. I'll take that. I will take that. I didn't expect Man City to come to Goodison and it be like this at all. I will bloody well take it. But if we do go and win this, my God, could this be some momentum for us? We could maybe just sneak into the top 4, and that would be a tremendous result. We're 4 points away from Man City. Chelsea lose to Liverpool, so actually we'll only be 8 points away from third. And being only 12 points away from second, we're not having a bad season at all, really, to think about it. Yes, I appreciate we're not in the title race at all, but I tell you what, we're not doing badly at all, considering this is our first full season in charge of Everton, and it does make you wonder how Carlo Ancelotti only finished. I think he finished 6th one year, but apart from that, they've been sort of just about hanging on to the top 10. They were obviously 12th when we took charge this time last year, pretty much. So, again, no idea how they are where they are. We could do with changing the tactic, I think, because this is inevitably going to be 2-1. Good save from Pickford. We need to maybe come back a little bit now. We've got a lead to defend, ultimately. Be a good idea to bring some of our players back. Passing directness a bit shorter, work the ball into the box. Regroup when we've lost the ball again. Not be too stupid at this point, because there's no point doing that. In terms of letting Man City have all the ball, but it would be a good idea at this point just to calm it a bit and bring the ball backwards and just be a bit more risk averse, I suppose. But that was a awful clearance from Jordan Pickford straight to Man City, and you have to feel that that's the reason why City have halved the lead. That is very annoying because, as always, it's fairly obvious, but in football, only a 1-goal lead is a real struggle, and particularly against a team like City, where you probably have to sit back a bit more now. And if they make it 2-2 straight after the second, I'll tell you what, I'm just getting my words all in a mumble today. If they make it 2-2 now, I'll be bloody fuming. Pickford puts it out, hoofs the ball out. I'm not too sure about that clearance, but then I guess you've got to get a bit of a balance, haven't you? I don't like this whole play. I mean, it's a bit ironic. I've got it on as an instruction play out from defence, but what I mean is I don't like this whole stupid play sidewards, with the centre-backs and, horrible. But a good ball from Marcus Edwards up to Reece Nelson. He's one-on-one with the keeper, and Reece Nelson has got a hat-trick. We have got our 2-goal lead back, and for a player who's not a striker, he's just scored his 13th goal of the season. How about that? I've had a few words from the coaches that, I don't know about Reece Nelson, he's not our best striker. We've got to play Lorenzo there, and Reece Nelson's awkward in that role. He scored a hat-trick today against Man City. He doesn't look that awkward, does he? Goodness me, but we've got a really good chance here of taking 3 points against Manchester City. I don't know how they've got on particularly in this crew mode. Shall we have a look? They won the league in 22, they won the league in 25, so they're about where you would expect you would expect them to be in this save. So what I'm saying is this is going to be a very good result. The only problem with our potential fight for the top 4 is that our goal difference is rubbish. compared to the top 4 anyway. You'd certainly take it in terms of the other teams in the league. We're very strong at 9 compared to a lot of clubs who are on very small single figures and maybe minus figures in some cases. But in terms of the top 4 fights, I think City are on 29 in terms of their goal difference. That's after today, so they would have been in the 30s. It just shows the real gulf between clubs that are outside that traditional top 6 and the rest. The top 6 and the top 4. What am I going on about? You know what I mean? The gulf between the clubs who are in the top 6, so your Man Cities, and other clubs. I.e., the difference between us and Man City. Thank you for that incredibly long-winded passage that I could have just done in about 2 words. I do still worry about us dropping points here, because if they make it 3-2 now, which they do, but it's offside, I think, so we're all right. If they make it 3-2, then, yeah, we struggle a bit. We've really got to sit back, which is what we're doing now, I think. The goal's going to be ruled out because of offside. I can't see us conceding 2 in 15 minutes, but if there's ever a manager in Football Manager this year that's going to do it, it's most certainly going to be us. We've got 12 minutes to go, so it might be a good idea to do some defensive bolstering. We'll bring Mason Holgate on for Diego Almeida, who's had a good debut season, to be honest. He's formed a partnership with Ben Godfrey in the centre of defence. Mason Holgate's been second choice, and that's purely because I guess Diego Almeida's just the player that we've decided to play. There's nothing really, there's no science to it ultimately. It's just that the two players have formed a nice partnership, and the old saying that if it ain't broke, don't fix it at the end of the day. Good signing though for I think 16 million from Southampton. Not too bad at all. A few minutes to go here. This is really, if I was the attacking team, saying that we've got to score here to try and get a draw. You know, they have to score to have any hope. Good shot there, but good block equally by our men. Viviani hoofs the ball out. It's exactly what we're looking to do. Get it away from our area. Declan Rice playing for Man City, unless there's another Rice. Egg fried, maybe? No, I won't do that joke again. Lorenzo's on the ball, though, now. If he can make it 4, it is definitely game over. That is game over. What a fantastic strike from Lorenzo there. As it says there, a solo strike. I'm glad I come back for this match, because after losing 5-1 to Chelsea, I don't think you guys would have believed me if I'd have gone and whooped City like this. And that's exactly what we have done. We've not got away with it. We've not won by the odd goal. We have been the better side. We have took Man City apart, and we have beaten them by 4-1. What a story that is, and could have really been a clean sheet if it hadn't been for Pickford's stupid antics earlier on. Brilliant result, massively brilliant. I guess what we need to do now is be consistent and go away to Spurs and go and beat them, but they're not a top side. Looking at this, they're down in 12th. They've just lost to Leicester of all teams, one of the weakest sides in the league. Man United carry on their strong run by winning 4-0. Clubs behind us, Bournemouth got points. Newcastle had got 2 games in hand now. Wolves lost, that'll help. So, I guess what I'm saying is that even if Wolves and Villa win their game in hand, we've got 7 points on where we finished last year. Good to see this. I was watching a few videos at stupid o'clock this morning because I got up at 4:30, don't ask. And I noticed that looking through FM, we hadn't really got the best youth academy system in terms of junior coaching and youth facilities work. So good to see that they are going to improve our youth and normal training facilities. Great to see that. Henry Lawrence is out just to make things even bloody better in the defence. We've got another injury. You can't believe that. But Reece Nelson, hat-trick, 13 goals in the Premier League this season from 20 appearances. He's got to be one of the most clinical players in the league, surely. Now, let's have a quick look at this. Let's have a look at the stats. Player overview. I'm looking for most goals per 90 minutes. That's what I'm looking for. Player detailed. I mean, we're going to be about to say we're going to get mugged. There you go. Reece Nelson 7th. Every 128 minutes he scores. And look at the men above him. Abraham, Rashford, Greenwood, Masheri, who's obviously a really good regen. Werner, Vicinius Jr. He's in good company there, he really is. And it is crucial after that brilliant result. We actually now go and capitalise and get 3 points away at Spurs. Can you blame me for not really touching the side from last time? We play Livramento instead of Rostami at right back. But apart from that, the side stays exactly the same now. Alex Iwobi is back from international duty, but he's a bit tired. Sanusi's back, so I might put Sanusi on the bench, actually, in place of Russell Lee. Might be a good idea. But for the moment, we'll keep those guys out again. I don't want to change what's worked well for us. Bit of beef in the pre-match build-up with Mancini, who's having a moan, saying that, well, he can't wait to beat us. But hopefully we can beat them. Obviously, they beat us last time out. Last time we played them at Goodison Park. But after we played Man City and won, I hope we can get some consistency. It's a typical match that you would probably say is the typical that we go and beat Man City, we win the game we don't expect to win, and then we go and lose against Spurs, which, as I said, would be pretty typical. But just looking at the fixtures, Man City are playing against Liverpool today, so that could be a big one for the league table. Man City are losing against Liverpool, so that could be massive for our top 4 hopes if we can get a victory today. But we have sold Yusuf Attal. He's gone to Shakhtar Donetsk for £6.5 million. Not too bad at all, really. You can't complain. I'd have liked to have got a bit more for him, maybe about £9 million, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. It gets him off the wage bill. And again, we weren't going to use him. His value would have probably only gone down, given he's a 30-year-old and not getting much first-team football. So, again, a fairly decent sale. Everton paid, I think, £13 million for him about 3 or 4 years ago now. So, it's not a bad bit of business for the club. Sakaria hoofs it out. I don't really know why we're being so direct in our play, but if it works, it works. Lovely ball again from Sakaria to Deji Satona, who gets his 3rd goal of the season. It's brilliant. When you whinge on FM, when you go, what the bloody hell's he doing that for? It tends to work. It didn't work with Jordan Pickford in the last game. I appreciate that, but that was after the event we were moaning at that. But a lovely ball, through ball from Sakaria to Sotona, straight over the defence, and very clever play there from Deji Sotona, who put it in the back of the Tottenham net. And after that, because Man City are losing against Liverpool, we're only 1 point away from the top 4. That would be absolutely tremendous in our first full season with Everton. But there's still 14 games to go. We've still got to win this one yet, ultimately. Nelson, Lorenzo, pick that one out. Lorenzo is really coming to the fore now. He really is. He's come up to a 4-star player. Potential 5-star. Why PSG got rid of this kid, I really don't know. But kudos to our scouting team for picking him up, because he has been a tremendous signing. He's only going to get better. I think he's only 19 years of age. His 9th goal of the season. And I'll tell you what's really worked well. We did start him ahead of Reece Nelson in the sole forward role at the start of the year. And he didn't play very well. But he seems to be playing very well just in behind Reece Nelson. And Nelson's getting goals. He's had 13 this year. Lorenzo's now on 9 for the season. If this system's working, why on earth would I change it just because some of the coaches are saying, well, Lorenzo's a better striker than an attacking midfielder? And he's very nearly made it free there. Very, very nearly. And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but with victories against both Tottenham and Man City, you have to say we're either a side in very good form who are being a bit lucky, or a side that are a real threat to some of the best clubs in the league. And maybe that 5-1 against Chelsea was a wake-up call, but it is early. It's very early to say that. We don't really want to get too complacent just yet, but if we can make it a third before half-time, we've got a very good chance of walking away from 6 points out of 6 days. Nelson into Deji Sotona. Nelson back into the box. Good stuff from us. Not just taking the one chance and lying down. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Just watching the scores going at the Villa as well. If we win today's game, we're 9 points clear of where we were, where we finished last year. So again, that can be only of benefit. I thought it might have been 2-1 there, but ultimately it gets to a point that, as I've just alluded to, we might not just be looking at Europa League football next year. We might be going completely past the Europa League and going into the Champions League. And the last time Everton played in the Champions League, we're going back surely a decade. Surely we are going back a decade here. Would be wise just to sit back a bit more now. Not too much, but just go from a positive mentality to balance, just to make sure we don't concede anything stupid. We've got a 2-goal lead here, and that's something we had many times with Nice and Bottle. Deji Sotona are only too familiar with that, and hopefully he won't be a jinx for us today. But Sotona running through, very good stuff, but can't quite make it work. But again, it's time that Tottenham haven't got on the ball. It's time that it's in their half of the pitch. They can't do a lot with it, but they are building up here. It's good stuff from Sakaria, but a bit weak in the end, actually. It goes straight back to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Valverde on the edge of the box, puts it in. Good clearance. But I'd love to know what system Tottenham are playing, actually. I haven't looked at this. For them to be playing both Calvert-Lewin and Harry Kane. Unless they're playing Calvert-Lewin in behind Harry Kane. A little bit like we are with Lorenzo, I'm not sure. But again, Tottenham aren't really offering anything. I'll say that through gritted teeth when they go and win 3-2. They're actually playing Harry Kane on the wing. Now, can Harry Kane actually play on the wing? Because that seems a very bizarre position. Yes, he's accomplished it. He's very good at it. But surely Harry Kane's a striker. I can only think they're doing that because Calvert-Lewin's playing very well. But that's a strange system to go and play. Really is. Really, really is. Right, substitutions time. Sakaria's going to come off for Lewis Bates. And we're also going to give... I think we... Who do we give a rest? Lawrence is looking a bit knackered. So we will bring Sanusi on for half now. We've really missed Sanusi as that typical option at left back. I don't want to jinx it, but you watch he get bloody injured in his first match back. Lorenzo on the edge of the box puts it in. Reece Nelson makes it 3-0. A bit of luck involved there, but really, who cares? Lorenzo and Reece Nelson hook up again. Not in that way. Link up, not hook up. That was dreadful. They link up, they don't hook up at all. I mean, who knows, but yeah. No other comments to make on that. But we're 3-0 up against Tottenham. I wouldn't say we're particularly in dreamland, but this is brilliant. It really is. We're putting Everton back on the map, back there they should be. And this is just really nice, bittersweet. Well, not bittersweet, but just sweet. Calvert-Lewin's a man who obviously was at Everton, and just nice to give him a bit of a treatment that goes, you're at a poorer team now, Dom. You should never have left. But I guess, you know, could he really have made that decision 4 or 5 years ago when he left? I mean, I wasn't here at the time, so I had nothing to do with it. Tavares through to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's going to go and score a hat-trick in 15 minutes now, isn't he, or something stupid. The thing I would like to get here, which we didn't get against Man City, is a clean sheet. Lorenzo through to Deji Satona. He shoots very nearly 4-0 to the Ev now, to the Toffees. I can't believe this. Again, we're either in a good run of form and this will start to fade very quickly, or we are a very good threat. And I think it's probably the latter, I would say, at this point. We are doing very, very well. We've got 10 odd minutes left now. I would be astounded. I would be astounded if we managed to lose this or drop any points. I really would. But the main thing, as I've said, would be great for us to get a clean sheet. The main thing is to get the 3 points. However we get it, whether it's 3-2, 4-3. I mean, I don't quite agree with Bielsa ball, for example. Just we'll score more than you approach. But I guess that is something you do have to do to an extent sometimes. But in terms of this match, we've got absolutely no problems. We'll give Lorenzo a bit of a rest. We'll bring Abdoulaye Doucouré on for him. I've just gone very defensive. I don't know whether that's too much. I'm not sure whether we're letting Tottenham have some opportunities. I'm not sure. But, it's not 3-1. It very nearly is. But we're doing brilliantly. We really are. I just can't believe this. But unfortunately, to make things a bit sad, Man City, I think, have beat Liverpool. They're on 48 points anyway. They're only on 45 earlier. For goodness sake, we don't get the clean sheet. I know I'm being incredibly petty here about what has been 2 brilliant results, but it's annoying. Yeah, Man City have beaten Liverpool, which, if you look at things on the bright side, although we're now 4 points away from Man City, which of course we were at the end of the last match, we're only 7 points away from Liverpool. That would be bonkers. That would be bonkers to go and beat Liverpool in the table. And I tell you something, we might just do it. We've not got a hard run of games, particularly. We've got Palace. We've got that same run that we had early on in the year. Palace, Stoke, West Ham. The form we're in, you'd be expecting 3 from 3 unless something goes wrong. Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. If we can go on a really good run here, right, and do what we've done for the rest of the year, and beat the teams we should beat, because if you look at this, who have we lost to? Forget those first 2 matches. Who have we lost to that we should have beat? No one. We dropped points against Leeds and Sheffield United. The only other teams we've dropped points against, obviously, are the big boys: Chelsea, Tottenham, City, Liverpool, and United. There is no reason why we can't go and win 4, 7. 8, 9, 12 of the last 14. And then we can afford to lose against Liverpool and Man United. I think sides like Leicester, maybe Wolves, potentially Leeds, could be places where we trip up and only get a point. But if we keep going with this winning run, as I've said, do exactly what we've done the entirety of the season, then I've got no problem. And what looked to be an inconsistent January is actually turned into a very good one. 4 wins in 5. If we go and beat Palace on Sunday, we'll make it 5 wins in 6 and end January very, very well. But things are going very well. Goals scored, 5th best. Goals conceded, 5th best. I think that's the summary of the season so far. We are very much best of the rest. We're 9 points clear of Aston Villa. Be interested to see how Newcastle get on in their game in hand. But there's still a long way to go. There really is. Things can change between now and the end of the year. We're certainly not going to win the title, but we can dream. We can dream of going upwards. And 4th, 3rd place, who knows? I think we're going to finish 5th, but if we've got on a good run of form, who knows what's possible. If you've enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below and comment your thoughts as well. Remember to subscribe for regular Football Manager content. I think this is Sunday's episode. I'm recording these away in advance, so apologies for getting all confused if not. But after today's episode, we will go back to the normal model of 4 videos a week on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday at 6 PM. I'm back to work tomorrow. Horrible to even think of, but luckily it's only Thursday, so 4 days left. That's better. Back to the real world. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday for yet another episode of Conquering the Euro with Everton. Goodbye for now.